Next are information items. First, I would like to, if we could do the SHAC update, Dr. Dupree.
Yes, sir. We are pleased to have with us leaders of the SHAC this year, including the chair. This is Erica Bernard. I'm not sure, Deanna, are you going to introduce it? Our Chief Academic Officer oversees that with her team, so Deanna is going to begin the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Dupree. Good evening, President Burdine and members of the board. As Dr. Dupree indicated tonight, we're pleased to provide an update from the Student Health Advisory Committee on the work that they've done throughout the 2018 and 19 school year. This evening's presenters are our Coordinator of Health and PE, Lori Sartain, and Erica Bernard, who is our Student Health Advisory Committee President. Lori?
Hello. Good evening, Dr. Dupree, President Burdine, and members of the school board. The School Health Advisory Council is a parent and community advisory group mandated by legal and local policies. The majority of the SHAC members are parent volunteers. The remaining members include district coordinated school health representatives and community members. So before we start today, I'd like to recognize our SHAC chair, Erica Bernard, and then other members of our SHAC committee that have come today. So if y'all would please stand. We greatly appreciate you and thank you for all your time and your commitment to coordinated school health in Fort Bend ISD. Do I click? Okay. Today we are going to cover a couple topics. Some of them are the goals and progress updates that the SHAC has done over the 2018-19 school year, the SHAC mission and vision, wellness models, SHAC programming implementation, which includes SHAC accomplishments, and then the focus of the SHAC's work for the 2019-20 school year, and we're also going to recognize community partners. So this is our SHAC vision. It was updated in December of 2017. We updated it to include teaching and promoting wellness through healthy lifestyles. We have just adopted a SHAC mission. The purpose of this was really to continue our ongoing efforts to make sure that we're aligning board goals, profile of the graduate, and our wellness policy that the board adopted in 2016. Okay, so this time I'm going to turn over the presentation to our SHAC chair, Erica Bernard.
Thanks, Lori. Good evening. I was going to say afternoon. Good evening. Can you hear me okay? In the last 5 years, I guess I have to click. In the last 5 years, the coordinated school health model on the left has developed into the whole school, whole community, whole child model on the right. Our district wellness policy initiatives are based around this newer model. The role of the SHAC is to make recommendations to the Board of Trustees to continually challenge the effectiveness of wellness efforts in the district based on this model. A coordinated approach has been universally determined to be the best approach to maximize the improvement of students' health and their capacity to learn through the support of families, communities, and schools working together, all three. I'd like to share the work of the Fort Bend ISD SHAC as it relates to the whole school, whole community, whole child model. If you look at the model up on the screen, on the outside of this model in the yellow bands, you'll see the community component. The district's community is made up of organizations that we work with, parents whose support is also very essential, and other community organizations. The programs you see listed on the outside of the model represent the major wellness efforts currently being implemented on many of our campuses. Using this model, we can effectively evaluate where we are in relation to more fully implementing the Fort Bend ISD wellness policy. Please take a moment to look at the variety of programs our students are benefiting from. Several of these programs, such as Harvest of the Month, which is a farm-to-school initiative, and Turn It Gold, a pediatric cancer awareness initiative, have been initiated by parents who serve or have served in the past on the Fort Bend ISD SHAC. As we look at this model, we can also see where we are implementing quite a few programs and where we need to do a little bit of a better job in the future. So we will focus on that next year. Because community support is so important to developing the whole child, the SHAC recommends the inclusion of PTA, PTO, VIPs, or very important persons, or other parent representation on all campus wellness committees. to better help coordinate and communicate resources that are available to meet the wellness goals we continue to strive to execute. To this end, SHAC would like to create a SHAC Campus Liaison Subcommittee, on which a parent from each campus will act as the campus liaison to SHAC. We believe that this will create a channel of communication with each campus that will aid in the identification, funding, and implementation of previously unidentified wellness resources. So the SHAC knows about a lot of these resources, but not every campus does. This subcommittee would also allow campuses and SHAC to share best practices to benefit all campuses throughout Fort Bend ISD. And this is something our principals have specifically requested from us. In order to aid in the identification of all evidence-based resources available, SHAC recommends that Fort Bend ISD should create a virtual health school course on Schoology. This is based on the Center for Disease Control model, where all health and wellness information, including funding vehicles, can be made available to all students, staff, parents, and community members. Of note, it can be specifically used by campus principals when campus improvement planning is done each year. The virtual health school will help to communicate to the Fort Bend ISD community all of the wellness efforts currently available for implementation. The SHAC Executive Board created a 5-year plan this year to provide a framework that will allow students to have a voice in identifying their wellness needs, and will guide the district to enhance our focus on the center of the model, which, if you look, is the whole child. Again, that's our primary focus on SHAC. The Fort Bend ISD profile of a graduate states, a Fort Bend ISD graduate has a rigorous academic foundation, a strong character, and is equipped with skills for life. For our second recommendation, the SHAC challenges the district to allow the student voice to be a more integral part of development of campus and district wellness strategies in line with the Fort Bend ISD profile of a graduate, the Board of Trustee goals, and the whole school, whole community, whole child model. Specifically, we suggest including students on all campus wellness committees to allow students' voices to collaborate in the creation of campus wellness goals and initiatives. We recently had Dr. Dupree's Voices group present to us this idea, and we have several students that are ready to take action. Further, we recommend that efforts are expanded to identify and effectively utilize student feedback data to guide all future coordinated school health initiatives. Sources of this data include Naviance, the Pride Survey, the Youth Risk Behavior Survey, and other relevant data. One of the SHAC's favorite examples of this kind of data are brain scan pictures, which illustrate the difference between a child's cerebellum after 20 minutes of inactivity versus after 20 minutes of activity. In the latter, after activity, the cerebellum is completely lit up, thus illustrating that a brain that is on fire, as we like to call it, is more ready to learn. Lastly, the SHAC recommends that Fort Bend ISD support the annual SHAC Hero Health Recognition Award for at least one parent, community member, one Fort Bend ISD leader, and one student. Campus leaders will assist the SHAC in nominating individuals, including students, staff, and parents, who have consistently and very generously contributed to the wellness of a large number of students and the school community as a whole. There is a tremendous amount of work around wellness being done now on our campuses. I have seen it. I've been on many, many campuses over the last year. And the passion of these health advocates should continue to be encouraged and recognized. Okay, and on the next slide, we'd like to recognize some of our SHAC community partners. Those that are listed not only provide community resources, wellness resources to our campuses, but they also serve on our SHAC. We're very grateful to them. Some of the others who contribute but are not listed are HEB, the George Foundation, Tug for Life, Marathon Kids, Girls on the Run, Save the Children, and many more. Thank you, Dr. Dupree, Mr. Bernstein, and members of the school board for the opportunity to present the ongoing efforts of the Fort Bend ISD SHAC around coordinated school health. We would be happy to answer any questions you might have now.
Thank you very much for that great presentation. I think we can all agree that promoting evidence-based wellness is crucial to developing the whole student, and it's really important for our staff and community as well. And so, saying that, Mrs. James, would you like to say something?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. So I really want to thank the members of the SHAC that are here tonight. I serve as a trustee representative on the SHAC, and I have for a couple of years on and off, and I really appreciate them. And I particularly want to mention, Erica, thank you as a volunteer. You serve many, many, many hours on top of your full-time job to lead the SHAC, to organize the meetings, to host events, to go to events, and to generate ideas and organize all the community organizations on that graph, but also all the other parent volunteers from many, many schools in the effort. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate the work you've done, and I think our district appreciates the work as well. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. And I'd just like to say I could not do what I do without the team of people sitting next to me. That's for sure.
Thank you, Mrs. James, for serving in that role as well.